Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Juliet. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always supporting me. I really appreciate it. So in today's video, I am going to be showing you how I made this beautiful Ankara baggy trousers. They're so comfortable and very easy to make. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. So I started by folding my Ankara fabric into two like so. So for the length, I am going to be using 42 inches for my length. So from the top of this fabric to 42 inches, I am going to make a mark. I will go over to the side and mark the same 42 inches. Come back to this other corner and mark 42 inches again. This is just to make sure that my line is straight. So after that, I used my ruler to connect the points together like so. Now for the width, how much I used to fold the fabric, it's my thigh measurement divided by 2 and I added extra 3 inches. So next now I'm going ahead to mark from the waist. I marked my crotch measurement, which is my hip divided by 4. So for me, I got 12 inches. Then I'm marking my waist to hip measurement, which is 9 inches. And then I used my ruler again to connect both points together. After that, on the hip line, I went ahead to mark my hip measurement divided by 4 plus extra 4 inches for that baggy effect. For the crotch line, remember we used the thigh measurement to fold the fabric, so thigh divided by 2 plus extra 3 inches for the bagginess of the trouser. So I took that same hip measurement to the waistline, hip divided by 4 plus extra 4 inches. Now on this corner, I'll just come out by 1¼ inch and then make a curve like so. So this is basically it for the front. So I left the edge of the Ankara at the top because we're adding a waistband to this later on, so it will be covered. Next now I am cutting. I started with the crotch all the way down and then I left the length line for now, but we'll still cut it out later. Next now I'm folding the fabric again into two to cut out the back piece. So this back piece is going to be longer by 2 inches. So I'm marking that 2 inches at the top as you can see, and then it's also going to be wider by 2½ inches. So I'm placing the front piece on it like so, making sure that the folded ends are matching, and then on this crotch line I marked 2.5 inches and then I came down to the hem and I marked 2 inches. I also marked 2 inches somewhere around the middle so that I can easily connect both points using my ruler. So next now I went ahead to extend. Remember we left 2 inches at the top, so from that top I'll connect back in a slant to the side waist on the front. Now for the crotch and for the hip line, I added extra 2, which we are going to connect back to the waistline like so. And then I will go ahead and make a curve to on the back leg of the trousers. So after this, we are done with drafting the back. So it's time to cut. I started with the crotch line and then I'm going to mark the sides. Then I will mark the waist. And then I go ahead and cut out the length for the front. Now the front and the back have length of 42, except that the back is higher by 2 inches. So I went ahead to open the sides. This is the side seam. I just cut it open all the way to the end. That is it for the front and the back. So the next step now is to cut out the pocket. So I folded this fabric now. I'm measuring 13 inches for the length of the fabric and also the width. I marked 13 inches. So I marked out 13 inches by 13 inches on fold. This way we are going to get two pocket pieces from this single fold. So I'm going ahead to cut, as you can see. After this, I cut it again into half. So now we have the two pieces. I'm going to mark on the wrong side so I don't mix it up. And then I will go ahead now. This is my front trouser piece or pieces. So I'm going to place the pocket pieces right sides together, the right side of the pocket on the right side of the front trouser. So from the waist I'll come down by 7 inches, and then at that 7 inches point I will come in by half inch. I'll come in by half inch again on the waistline, and then I will connect. So this is like L shape. So we're going to go sew following that L shape like that. This is it for one of the trousers. I'm using my pin to hold the pocket piece in place so it doesn't move. Then we'll do it again for the second leg piece. Place the front leg piece, then place the pocket piece on top of it, right sides together. Come down by 7 inches, go in by half inch all the way to the waist, and then connect in an L shape, and then go sew on that L shape like that. Now after sewing, this is what we have. We're going to slant into that corner. So slant in a corner, cut, make a cut in that corner, that L-shaped sharp corner, and then turn it back into the wrong side. You are still going to have an L shape, but this time it is turned and it's clean. So we're going to take this back now, iron it, and then make a tiny top stitch on that L shape, and then fold our pocket piece into two, close the under part, and then hold the top and the sides in place. For now, you can just use your pins to hold it at this point, or just sew it down loosely. So we're going to repeat the same thing for the other pocket piece, after which we'll place the front pieces right sides together and go sew using half of an inch. We're also going to do the same thing for the back piece. So place the back pieces right sides together and then sew on the crotch side using half inch. After that, this is what we have. This is the front and this is the pocket. So there's like an extra half inch hanging after the pocket opening. That is what we are going to use to join to the back. And this is the other side, as you can see. So next, now it's time to join the front and the back pieces together. So I'm going to place them right sides together, as you can see. Right side of the back on the right side of the front. I'll go now and sew by the side using half inch, making sure that I'm sewing just beside that half inch on the at the pocket point. I'm not stepping on the pocket. I'm just sewing right beside it. The same thing for the other side seam as well. We're going to place them together, right sides facing each other, and then sew using half inch, making sure I am not stepping on the pocket opening. After that, we'll also go ahead and join the inseam like so, making sure that that seam is matching, and then we'll sew the rest of the inseam using half inch also. After that, this is what we have. You can see that my pocket opening is still intact. You barely see that there's a pocket there, even though it is there. So next, now I went ahead to measure around my waist so that we can get the exact measurement to use for the waistband. So I measured all around. I got 57.25. So I went ahead to cut 57.75 as the length of the band with the extra half inch as allowance. I also ironed interfacing on the band, folded into two. My band is 2.5 inches, so I cut 5 inches, then folded into two, making it 2.5. I went ahead to mark half inch from the top and then 0.75 and then 2 inches again from the top. So we're going to draw these three lines all across the waistband so that it will be easier to stitch down the elastic when we fix it. And then this tiny strip, I'm going to go fold in half like a bias, fold half inch in, another half, and then fold again into two. It's not up to, it's about 1.5 inches wide. So I'm going to join a lot of them together, making sure that it is more than my waist measurement. So for the elastic, I like that wide look of a 2 inches elastic, but for some reason I couldn't get any for myself. So I'm going to be joining 1 inch elastics together to give me 2 inches width of elastic. My elastic length is my waist measurement divided, my waist measurement minus 5 inches. So waist 40 minus 5, that's about 35. I think I ended up using 32 inches of elastic here. So these two are 32 inches long each. So I'm just placing them right beside each other, like right on top. It's overlapping by very little, and I'm just sewing. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want it to stay together side by side like this until we are done fixing it. So I'm placing them on top of each other. I'm not pulling, I'm not dragging, it's just moving like that. You can see that my hand is not pulling on it in any way. So once I get to the end, this is it. There's no need for any back stitch or whatever. Most of these stitches will still go off at the end of the day, but for now we need this elastic in this shape. So I went ahead to measure the length again to confirm. I got about 32, which is still fine. So it's as good as taking 8 inches out of my waist measurements. I'm going to place this elastic on top of each other now like so, and then stitch it down again, like stitch it over and over and over, making sure that it's very tight. After that, this is it. This is the elastic piece now, and I've gone ahead to make mark those lines like I said, 5 half inch from the top, then from that half inch 0.75, and then another half inch. So I'm going to now join the band together using quarter of an inch. Remember we added half inch allowance. I'll just join it now with about quarter of an inch, making sure that it is not twisted. If not, you will come back. You come back and do it again. So make sure it's not twisted. So I've gone ahead to join these strips together. I'm folding it half inch on both sides like a bias, and then folding again into two, and I just keep sewing, doing the same fold and sewing until I'm done. Like I said, this strap is like twice my waist measurement. After that, this is our waistband. So I folded it into two. I'm going to pick this point as my center front and then make a notch there. Then on that part that is 0.75, the widest part, I am going to come in from the center by 1 inch and then make a dot there. I'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So we're going to make two holes on that point where the strap is going to pass through. I'm using the soldering iron to poke the holes in them so that it's clean. You can either use eyelets, you can use a buttonhole, or you can just make a cut on the fabric. There are so many options. So I'm using the soldering iron so that the place is still clean and without fraying. After making the holes, now it's time to place the elastic in it like so, and then we're going to go sew on that first line, that first chalk line. That's like the 2 inches point. So I'm just placing the elastic in and making sure that I am sewing just beside it. I am not stepping on the elastic at all. So as you're sewing, the band is obviously wider than the elastic. So it's important that you push the main fabric as you're sewing so that your elastic can keep going round. I don't know how to explain it, but you will see as I sew. So I'm placing the elastic all the way to the end, making sure it is lying flat and I am not stepping on it. I'm pulling, making sure that everything goes round. Push the main fabric like so. Make sure your elastic is not twisted, or if not, you will come back and do it again, and that will not be nice. So I'll keep doing that until I sew the whole of this waistband. If you're yet to subscribe to our channel, now is the time to do so. Thank you. Also click on the notification bell so that you'll be the first to know when I upload a new video. Thank you. So once I go round, this is what we are going to have. So the elastic is all in and it's flat, and we are good. So next, now it's time to go sew down the elastic. So using these lines that I've already marked, we are going to go back now, place the band on the machine and sew while pulling. Make sure that you're pulling the band completely. It is very important. At this point, that stitch we used to join the elastic pieces together might start popping. You might be hearing it pop as you pull. It is very okay. We only needed it for the meantime, and now it can go off. The stitches can go off, no problem. It's not going to affect us at all. So I just keep pulling and sewing until we go round for the first line, and then we'll go again for the second line and do the same thing. Pull it completely smooth. Don't pull until the band is there are no ruffles or whatsoever. After that, we have this. So because my chalks were on the right side, I'm just going to clean that off. I will use this piece of cloth, sprayed water, and then I cleaned the markings off. Next, I will use a safety pin, as you can see, and pass the strap or the rope through the two holes that we made. This, I don't know why you're stressing me. So after putting the rope on the safety pin, it's time to pass it through the two holes that we made. So one of it, and then it will come out on the other one. Now this is not an easy journey. Just take your time. It's going to be rough because there's an elastic and it's gathered and all of that, but it's very doable and you will get it. Just be patient. So after passing it through, this is what we have. Now it is time to join this to our waist. I like how wide it looks. The 1 inch was just too small for me. So this is my trouser piece. The right side is outside. So I'm going to make sure that that part we picked for the center front is pinned to the center front on the right side. The right side of the trouser piece to the right side of the band. And then we are going to go back now and sew, making sure that we are pulling. Remember, the elastic band is exactly the size of the trouser of the waist. That's the trouser of the waist. Waist of the trouser. So pull completely, let them be exactly the same so you don't have any shortages. After that, our pant is almost ready, just one more thing left. So it's time to fold the hem. So we're going to measure from the waist, but make sure you're measuring from the side. So from the waist like the top of the trouser all the way to where your length is. For me, it's 42 inches, or whatever is left, you will now use it to fold the hem of the trouser. Also, another tip is to make sure that this thing is you're measuring your length to the floor.